20, and welcome to what promises to be one of the brightest. Okay. Can we start again? Okay. Are we ready?
Tocando. Sí. ¿Ya estamos?
Okay, welcome to IE Business School, Class of September 2020, and welcome to the beginning of a bright new year ahead of you. Today, I am proud to be introducing you to what promises to be one of the most exciting and best years of your life. My name is Paula Robles, and I am the Executive Director of the International MBA here at IE. We will get the chance to meet each other over the coming days. However, today I will be acting as your Master of Ceremonies, and I will be introducing the various different speakers for today. So without further ado, we will start with a very short clip, followed by the first speaker for today, Dean of IE Business School, Martin Berm.
Welcome to the place that makes us feel like we belong, because it is where we feel most alive. It is where we are part of something bigger than ourselves. Anything becomes possible here. We are transformed as we are pushed to our limits, intellectually, personally, professionally. Our minds open and our hearts sing. It is the place we share with people who chase the same dreams and share the same passions. Connections that we will keep forever. And above all, the place where we feel at home, where we feel safe. It doesn't matter how far away our journey takes us, its doors always remain open. Because it's not just about the physical space. It is a mindset, a community, an ever-growing network that is present in over 140 countries around the world. Now it's time to connect. It's time to join the community. It's time to feel at home. IE Business School.
Paula, thank you very much for this very nice introduction. It is a pleasure as the Dean of IE Business School to welcome you as well to IE Business School and to the International MBA program, the intake of September 2020. Congratulations, you actually made it. And I think this year we even have to say you made it twice. You not only made it into the program, but as I understand, most of you actually managed to make your way as well here to Madrid, and you finally landed in this beautiful city, and maybe some of you have already been as well to our campus. So congratulations for that. Today is a special day, because as of today, you are a member of the IE Business School community. And to be honest, you're not only a member of the community, you are actually the community. The community is yours. It is your responsibility to take charge and manage this community for the rest of your life. In order to get a little bit of a better understanding what this community is all about, allow me to share a couple of statistics or a couple of numbers with you. IE community consists right now of approximately 55,000 members. And that obviously includes our current students, our staff, our faculty, but to the largest extent, it represents our alumni community. You are now one of the students who soon will be graduating as well. And as I said, you're going to be with this community for the rest of your life. So when you look around you, I mean virtually now, and you check out some of the others, you will actually see your family, your new family. You're going to see your new best friends for the rest of your life. You may be going to see as well some business partners, and who knows, maybe your future partner. And please don't take this too seriously. Don't worry if you don't spot someone to your liking. I mean, the group is much larger than what you see right now on the screens. But it's, again, as I said, it's not only about the statistics, it's not only about the numbers. I think it is much more as well about the emotional component. It's much more about what we represent as a community. And as a consequence, allow me to ask three things of you, which I think describe, or will describe quite nicely as well, what this community actually stands for and what and who we represent. My first request would be for you to be engaged. Be engaged in the larger community. And here, I encourage you not only to engage with your particular section, but engage with the other members of your program and the other members of the wider IE community. As already pointed out, this includes not only the other students, but also the staff, the faculty, and the alumni. Especially, I think, the faculty are going to be crucial, because they're going to be not only your facilitators of learning over the next year, but also they're going to be with you through this learning journey, through this personal and professional development journey. They're going to be maybe the person who's going to put you in touch with your new former employer, future employer. They're going to be the ones who are going to guide you in order to find your dream job, or maybe even, who knows, start a venture. So please engage with all the different members of the community. I'm aware that given the current circumstances, this is going to be challenging. But you will see over the next few months, and you will hear even today, that engaging, especially in extracurricular activities, is easier than it appears. All of our extracurricular activities have essentially moved online, which makes it even easier for you to participate, and more interestingly, it makes it much easier as well for our alumni to participate in these events. That provides you with a fantastic networking opportunity. So let me quote here John F. Kennedy, but slightly adjusting this. As you might remember, he's once said, don't ask what you can do for your country, but just do for your country. And I would like to adjust this a little bit. Don't ask what the country can do for you, but just ask what you can do for the country, for the community. So please be engaged in the extracurricular activities, but also as well in the academic experience. My second request would be to be true to our values and stick to our values. Now you might say, I remember when I went through this admissions process, I remember that they said something about values. I checked out the website, but I don't recall them anymore. So let me briefly remind you. Our first value is around diversity. Or you might have seen as well that we talk a lot about international perspective or global outlook. But really it is around diversity, and that is absolutely crucial for us. And diversity is something that we refer to not only in terms of the passports, nationalities, and cultures. And you probably have seen that in the business school, more than 120 nationalities are represented. But it's not really about that. It's much more about being engaged, being able to interact with people who have a slightly different point of view, who have different visions of the world. This is so incredibly important because it is the fundamental pillar for learning to take place. Because learning only takes place if your ideas get challenged, if you actually have to stretch your mind, or if you actually learn to defend your own views of the world, your own ideas against different points of view, or when you get challenged. So embrace this diversity, this diversity on every single day. You will see you actually don't really stand a chance, to be completely honest. Because going through the program, you're constantly going to be exposed to the diverse nature of our student community. Our second value is around entrepreneurship. And when we actually talk about entrepreneurship, it's much more around the entrepreneurial mindset. So having the mind of an entrepreneur, being ready for anything that might present itself to you. So what are some of these key traits or capacities that some of the most famous entrepreneurs are known for? First of all, I think they're not afraid of failure. Let me quote here actually one of my sports idols, Michael Jordan. Some of you might still remember him. He was clearly a very accomplished basketball player who played many, many years in the NBA. He once gave an interview about his life, about his success. And he said, I played more than 20,000 games. I was entrusted with a game-winning shot more than 500 times in my life. I was relied on so many different times. I took these shots and I failed. I failed. And I failed, and I failed all over again. And this is exactly why I did succeed in my career. This is why I did succeed in life. So I don't encourage you to constantly fail and making this a habit. And believe me, Michael Jordan didn't make it a habit of failing. But the most important, or one of the key traits of any entrepreneur, is being persistent, is this grit. And yes, sometimes in life we're being thrown back, but we have to stand up and we're going to have to push harder in order to succeed. So I encourage you to, yes, not be afraid of failure, but at the same time as well, have the persistence, have the grit to actually push through. Another trait that is quite common for entrepreneurs is that they're actually quite comfortable with constant change. Let me quote yet another master, but this time not of the world of sports, but now the world of science fiction. Some of you still might remember Master Yoda, especially those who are in the Star Wars movies. He actually once said, "The future in constant motion is." Well, he's incredibly true, and I think more true so today than ever before. Now we can't even know what's going to happen next week or in 2 weeks' time. While maybe 1 year ago, it was actually quite clear to make predictions, maybe even a year into the future. But our life has become incredibly uncertain. It has been incredibly uncertain, or has become incredibly uncertain with respect to our personal health, with respect to our professional success, with respect to the survival of organizations, with respect to what's going to happen from a political standpoint, or what is going to happen with our economies. So I think now, more than ever, we have to be comfortable with constant change and see this rather than a challenge, more as an opportunity. To see this change as an opportunity because things are moving, and as things are moving, we can shift them in the right direction or in the direction where we want to take things. I really believe that you made the right choice in coming to IE Business School. I think our institution is known for being innovative, entrepreneurial by its own sake. We constantly try to adapt to the changing environment, and now we try to do that as well much quicker than ever before. Just to give you some ideas, we obviously moved, when the pandemic hit, we moved all of our classes online. 5,000 students had to be moved online with less than 24 hours lead time. And we managed. Were there certain hiccups? Of course, were there certain hiccups. But this is what entrepreneurship is all about. You see the hiccups, you identify them, and you try to fix them, and you push through, and you make it better. Will there be potentially hiccups over the next few months of your journey? Of course, or I'm pretty certain that there's going to be hiccups. What's going to happen? I can't really tell you. But I think the spirit, how we should tackle this, is with the spirit of entrepreneurs, to see the challenge and try to fix the challenge. You guys are the leaders of tomorrow. Leaders don't moan, leaders don't complain. They identify the problem and they fix the problem and they push it through and they make the best out of the situation. So again, I congratulated you before for being here at IE Business School, having made it to Madrid. I want to congratulate you again as well for making, I think, the right choice. I think this is going to be the right place for you, given especially these certain or special circumstances that we're living in. Coming now to my the last value I wanted to highlight. You might recall that on our web we talk as well about the humanities. And when I talk about the humanities, I'm not referring to the typical liberal arts degree or your literature bachelor degree that you might have studied at your undergraduate. That's not what I'm referring to. When we talk about the humanities, we really talk about a global, a more holistic vision of the world. Looking at things not only with a perspective from the mind of a business person, not only looking through things with a business lens, but looking at things much broader, looking at the human beings, looking at the society, looking at people around us and how they affect us and how we affect them. Let me quote actually, or let me share with you a conversation I once had with one of our alumni. He now is in charge of the data management or the business analytics unit of a global insurance company. And I still remember when he got promoted to this position by the CEO, he was actually surprised. Actually, not only surprised, he thought that the CEO had made a mistake. He actually approached the CEO and said, I think you got something wrong here. I'm not a technical guy. I don't have any data analytics background. I'm not a specialist in big data. I think you got that wrong. I mean, I'm pretty much better prepared to do something else. And the CEO said, no, you got that completely wrong. You are absolutely the right person. I chose you exactly because of that. I don't need a data scientist to run our business analytics unit. I got plenty of mathematicians, people who studied data science for many, many years, and they're the best in what they do. But when it actually comes down to shaping the strategy, the future of our organization, what I need is people who ask the right questions, who determine what might be the challenges that lie ahead, and then this person has to instruct the data scientists in order to find the right and the correct answers or the necessary answers to chart the future. So as in this example, we are focusing on a holistic vision of the world. We try to instill in you the capacity or strengthen your capacity to ask the right questions. Because especially in the world we're living in, where we are entering every day uncharted territory, asking the right question is so much more important than knowing the correct answer to a yet established question. That any machine can do. And if we fast forward only 10, 15 years, machines will exactly do that. So we have to focus on what makes us special, what makes us unique as human beings. So as I said, my second request was to be true to our values. And I just wanted to really quickly run through some of these values so that you have them fresh in your mind. But I said there's a third request. My third request is quite specific as well to the current situation. I know this program is not only about the academic content. I know that. And I encourage that, and I think it is absolutely crucial to experience the extracurricular activities and build your own networks, and that's why I stressed this already today. But please keep also in mind that we are living in very special circumstances. Things are difficult right now, things are tough right now. I hope, honestly, that things will get much better, and you're going to be with us for the next year, and I know things will get better over the next year. But sometimes we might have to stick back. Sometimes we have to take care of others. Because this COVID-19 pandemic is not about myself. It's not about you. It is about everybody. And I think all of us, especially if we want to take a leadership role in society, in the world of business, it is now to step up and be responsible for those around us. I know sometimes you probably will have the urge to party and go out and be with others and maybe not always stick to the rules with respect to the health protocol. Please don't. Please stick to it. I encourage you to do that because right now we have to fight this pandemic. We have to fight this situation. There are other members in the community out there who are much more vulnerable, that are much more likely to be severely affected. So even if you're not, it is about the others. But I'm sorry that I had to end on a more serious note. So once again, let me maybe loop back to what I said at the beginning. I really want to congratulate for being here, being at the International MBA program here at IE Business School. I want to welcome you to probably the most amazing journey of your life. I really believe as well that you're going to get the necessary training to be better equipped than anybody else out there in the world to face the challenges that we'll see in the future. If we have online classes or if we have to switch to online classes, great. It's going to be fantastic for you. Why? Because chances are that your future employer is going to do exactly the same. Your future employer is going to look for people who have the right digital skills. So embrace that, embrace this experience, have a lot of fun, and I hope that I'm going to see you soon again, more personally, either virtually or in person. Thank you so much.
Let me now introduce you to José Esteves, Vice Dean of the International MBA here at IE University.
Thank you, Paula. Good afternoon and welcome to IE Business School, class of September 2020. We are so delighted that you have chosen us, and we can wait to see you in person in the next coming days. Despite these challenging circumstances, I think this is a great way to start the so-called new normal by acquiring new skills, new knowledge with new goals and new projects. And believe me, you will have a lot of projects, assignments, and dreams to be realized. You are about to go through a truly transformational experience. For us, IE Business School and the IMBA team in particular, it is an honor to be part of the learning journey you are just starting. As you know, what is happening at the moment is probably the beginning of a great social and business transformation. Now is the time to rethink options and solutions. We certainly live in a time that is propitious for change, adaptation, creativity, and discover innovative solutions. And the real voyage of discovery, as the French author Marcel Proust famously said, consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. In that sense, before we move to Mars using Elon Musk's SpaceX rockets, let's try to save this planet. We need more business sustainable strategies and leaders. We get to work together to actively create better leaders for the world and for the future. Discovery in the MBA context, it's all about self-discovery and personal transformation, which is partially achieved by experimenting with your career, your academic settings, and your social settings. Change is possible if you fight for it. The global problems that we are facing today need global solutions. And the best way to do it is working together in diverse environments, as Martin just said. If you look at this class, what makes it extraordinary is that there are many, many people who are not like you. Diversity is the magic, as you can see it. It is not about the differences, but about your uniqueness and you there to be yourself, because you will learn a lot from people who are not like you. IE is a truly diverse global community. And as of today, you are part of the community. You are IE. For us, diversity, again, as Martin just mentioned, is not only about race, nationality, or gender. It's also about diversity of opinion. As George Martin, author of Games of Thrones, that I think most of you know it, says different roads sometimes lead to the same castle. I encourage you to promote, embrace, and respect diversity of opinion. You will see that the most common sentence will be, "It depends." In conclusion, our dream is to see each one of you emerge as a lifelong learner with the skills and appetite to create, manage, and lead a better world after graduation and beyond. Let me leave you with your final remarks about the concept of home. During the next days and weeks, many people will ask you, where do you come from? Where is your home? For many of us, home is a work in progress. It's like a project when you are continuously adding upgrades, improvements, and corrections. Home at the end is not just the place where you sleep. It is the place where you stand. From now on, consider IE your home. So IE class of 2020, get ready, prepare yourself. The world desperately needs your transformational leadership. Thank you. And now it's an honor to introduce you Simon Philip Roast. Simon is an IE alumnus and currently the marketing executive at GE Healthcare in digital health and artificial intelligence portfolio. Welcome, Simon.
Hi, guys. Look, I have to also congratulate you up front, and I have to say I envy you a little bit, because what Paula, Martin, and Jose said is actually quite true. You will embark to something really amazing today. And I remember really well when I was on your seats or in your screens, we had a poem, actually, which was Ithaka, which was presented, and I still have it. I'm not a poems guy, but I highlight some of the things that I think are important. And let me read them to you. When you set out on your journey to Ithaca, pray that the road is long, full of adventure, full of knowledge. Pray that the road is long, that the summer mornings are many, when with such pleasure, with such joy, you will enter ports you have never seen before. Always keep Ithaca in your mind. To arrive there is your ultimate goal, but do not hurry the voyage at all. Wise as you have become with such much experience, you must already have understood what Ithacas mean. And I chose these lines on purpose because for me, I don't consider my MBA over. Basically, it didn't end 10 years ago. I believe it's a lifelong experience. Look, my journey started similar than yours 10 years ago when I decided to pursue an MBA. I was management consulting at Deloitte, and my plan was clear. Look, I wanted to basically use the MBA to accelerate my career path in consulting. By now, you might have heard that by my accent, I'm German. I mean, planning is one of the things that we like to do. And yeah, I had it very clear. My plan was simple. Deloitte sponsors my MBA. I return afterwards, enter in a higher career level, and basically all is good, right? And guess what? Didn't turn out like this at all. And IB and Ziemba was a great part of that, why I choose another career path. My idea is to quickly walk you through 3 stages after my MBA and to tell you how the MBA enabled me where I'm getting today, and to leave you with some food for thought afterwards and answer any question you might have. Look, during the MBA, I basically completely changed my mindset. I defined my personal, let's say, values or drivers that hold strong throughout the entire career until now. One was I want to be a people leader with all the good and bad that comes with that. And I guess many of you also think like that. A second thing was like, I really wanted that my work at the end counts or makes a difference. I'm a strong believer in performance, and I take personally a lot of, let's say, energy seeing progress, which in consulting was not always the case. I enjoy working in a very intellectual world at the end, in an international world, and which I didn't know at this point in time. I needed a strong purpose at the end for motivation. In my consulting job, I was missing one thing. One was the implementation of your recommendations. So you don't see progress because you just give strategic advice, but you never have to implement. And the second thing I was missing was this purpose, this why. Why actually am I getting up every morning, right? Thus, I decided during the MBA totally to pivot, to say, like, look, I'm not going back to consulting. I'm taking on the cost of the MBA myself, which was quite a large investment, I have to say, and to say, like, look, I explore possibilities with GE Healthcare. GE Healthcare I met in a career fair, and everything they told me was actually quite working towards this purpose that I live today, which is basically changing lives in moments that matter, right? And that's our purpose. So how did I enter GE? I called this the natural extension of my MBA. They have so-called MBA programs, leadership programs, where you rotate 2 years through various parts of the business in various countries, and you can apply what you learned. The MBA was a clear entrance to that. I mean, these programs are tailored towards MBA candidates like you and like us. So I would not have entered this anyways. But secondly, all the group work you do right now will help you to accelerate very fast and to show progress, which in these rotations actually was is quite important. A second step after that, I would call basically creating my own business within GE Healthcare. So when you come out of a program like that, you are normally perceived as a high flyer, but also as arrogant. And you miss kind of credibility a little bit, which is true, because to be honest, I never worked very deep in hospital processes. So what I felt I need right now is to build up credibility and to get this market knowledge, to get your hands basically dirty, to roll your sleeves up and understand healthcare and hospitals as such. If you look into the medtech and the IT world where I'm acting right now, you normally find 3 kind of profiles. And Martin alluded to that in the beginning. You either have people who understand the clinical part, you have engineers, or you have got data scientists. But all of these work quite in silos, right? They don't get the kind of experience you are going to train for the next 12 to 13 months right now, right? So during the MBA, I ask you I invite you to figure out what are your transferable skills. And I talk about this later a little bit deeper. Mine have been, I understand the complex problems, and I know how to bring them down. Strategic thinking was one of the advantages I had. Bringing things together in a world like GE, where you have got 8 or 9 businesses in GE Healthcare, was one of the things I understood. And the very important one that also Martin said in the beginning is entrepreneurship. I'm not an entrepreneur, but IE told me how to think, I would say, a little bit different than the normal average employee within a big ship like GE, right? So I searched for this kind of position, and in Germany, they searched for somebody basically who builds up a new business line, which was called Managed Equipment Services. So you take over the existing IT equipment and also medtech devices from a hospital, you apply a new business model, and you manage them for large periods. And all these skills that I basically explained before were tailored to that, right? So what you should do throughout this year, understand what you really do well, right? And to see how to apply that. After 5 years in this job, I have to say more or less that, I wouldn't say I got bored, but I was missing this kind of international flavor, right? Because I was in Germany, working for German hospitals, working really 5 days a week in the hospital as such, talking to the management level there. But it was all very German. And I signed up for lived half of my year abroad and signed up for an international experience, which was not the case anymore. And so I started again to look for opportunities. And I felt also that my, let's say, my learnings were getting less at this point in time. So again, I reached out to various people internal in GE with my ideas, and I said, like, look, I would love to work globally on projects that at the end help to improve business. And one thing you didn't notice yet, I think Martin or Jose said before as well, diversity is a big point here. I was amazed learning later how much you actually learn. I consider myself as international mind. I worked abroad quite a lot. But you will not experience in any company, not even GE Healthcare, the kind of diversity you have right there. Maybe if you work for the United Nations, could be the case, but you will see that you will learn a lot from your peers throughout the next couple of months. And I have to say, I learned this later on, that I'm able to do that. Managing an IT project in India is way different than managing a hospital in Germany. And this is what I learned during this period of time. But then sometimes also life hits you unexpected and hits you harder than you think, right? So I traveled with GE more than 4 continents at the end. I was in more than 25 countries, lived this kind of international experience suddenly, and then I got a phone call from my mother, who basically said, like, look, my father got flown his helicopter to hospital roughly 2 years ago, and it's not very clear if he will basically survive this kind of flight. And long story short, like, look, he survived the intervention, but from then on, he is an intensive care case, right? And this totally changes your kind of thinking in life. And so it was directly clear that I'm not going to continue being a global employee where you are off the road half of the time. And I basically would say, like, in every crisis, you find opportunities. And I applied something that I also had in a class from GE, which said, like, if you want to change your career at the end, you cannot change everything at once. You can either, you have location, you have your skill set or your domain, and you have got your sector you're in. If you try to change all of these 3, this will not work, right? And I applied that to look basically, where can I make a difference? And at this point in time, we were building up this artificial intelligence and digital health unit, and they searched for a marketing leader. And it sounded for me like winning the lottery, right? Because first, you are part of something which is highly important, being part of the transformation in healthcare. Secondly, you lead a function and in this area. And third, you are able to work from wherever you want, because this team was across, or the team is right now, my team is based across the European or EMEA region, right? But how do you get to a job like this, I was wondering. And it comes back again to these transferable skills that you will learn in this MBA. You have to find something that you did before and bring it basically to a new level. That's what I did. I built a business before within the tech world in my former job. I knew how to ramp up operations in a new space, and I also had the marketing background, right? Looking now 20 months back, look, has been the most positive challenge so far in GE, I have to say. A lot of things to learn, but also with a great team. And that's where I'm at this point in time in my career, which leaves me with 3 closing thoughts. It worked for me, and maybe can also work for you. One is, in this year ahead, carve out time, apart from networking or partying or learning, also to develop your purpose, to develop your why. I mean, Jose, you talked about self-development, I noted down here. That's exactly what I would also put into your agenda, because you will meet incredible people that can help you to find something that actually is new to you and that determines its why. Secondly, after my career, I always say, like, pay attention to my team, to these behance, I call them, big, hairy, audacious moments you have in life, right? There are a lot of tools you will basically learn in the coming years and also in your career afterwards, but you have to start developing this gut feeling, right? If something at the end doesn't feel right, doesn't mean that you don't have to do it, but you have to understand why it is and how you can use this basically in your career and also in your personal life. And look, the last thought of mine is use this year as intense in everything you do as you can, right? I mean, you will talk to new people. Use this conversation over a beer with a peer as much as you can. Enjoy every class and go give 120%, because it will pay out later on the one hand. And secondly, it's what you're there for, right? Look, with little more, I go back to my poem from the beginning. I wish to you guys that your journey is as long as it could. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, Simon, for those words, and thank you so much for sharing with us your personal and professional trajectory. We will have a little bit more time in a moment as well to hear more from Simon. But what I want to say now is that in a normal year, we typically only have one alumni speak at the opening ceremony. However, this year is not a normal year. This year is a special year, as your intake represents the 50th intake of the International MBA program here at IE. As such, and given the milestone, we have invited an alumnus from the pioneer class, from the very first IMBA intake 35 years ago. His name is Gerhard Gross, and he is CEO and President of Daimler Financial Services in Mexico. We will hear from him in just a few seconds. Gerhard, can you please unmute your mic?
Okay, can you hear me?
Wonderful, now? We can hear you now. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you especially to Instituto Empresa, my alma mater. It seems like only yesterday, in September 1984, that I joined to start my MBA. Also, Elena, thank you for making me feel so old. If there are any Mexicans in the group, tomorrow is your Independence Day. So happy Independence Day. If you are in Madrid, good luck trying to find chiles en nogada. I don't think it's going to happen. Sorry about that. Like Elena explained, I work for Daimler. I've been working for them for 30 years now. I joined in July 1990. It's been a very rewarding career. I'm very grateful to my company. I love them. I've had 12 different assignments. To you, I also want to wish you all the best and congratulations, because you have taken, my understanding is that you all have worked previously and you're taking some time off to do this MBA. So you're taking your development into your own hands. I think Simon is absolutely right. All development is self-development. All motivation is self-motivation, and all empowerment is self-empowerment. So you're doing the right thing. Yeah, you're taking a step in the right direction. Now, I've taken some notes about things that I wish somebody would have told me when I started. And some of them are my own ideas, but most of them were taught to me by a variety of bosses. I've been very fortunate in having very good bosses. So the first transition, guys, that you're going to make is from individual contributor to manager, whether it's a team leader, supervisor, whatever you want as a title, you're managing people. Yeah. And what you need to realize is management is a boring profession, guys. It's not a sexy profession. There are no movies in Hollywood about managers. Yeah, there are movies about just about every profession, including lawyers, go figure, but not about managers. A very good friend of mine, Mark Horstman, who has a digital training platform that we use at Daimler, uses the metaphor that management is like the movement of tectonic plates. It's repetitive. It's based on the fundamental that if you do the right thing over and over again, that's how you create mountains like Mount Everest. There's a reason, if those of you who have read Peter Drucker and those who haven't should, there's a reason why the guy sounds so boring. He's meant to sound boring. Yeah? So as a manager, you have two fundamental responsibilities. One is retention, and the other one is results. So you have to achieve the results that the organization has entrusted you with, and you have to do it in a sustainable way. You cannot just turn around and then figure that figure out that all the team members in your team have died. Yeah. Now, how do you do that? That's the question. And there is, depending on who you read, there's 15 behaviors that, by and large, make up 97% of your ability to achieve results in retention. That's the bad news. The good news is there's 4 of them that make up 75% of those 97%. So you have to pay special attention to these 4 behaviors because they have the biggest leverage. The first one is knowing your own people. You have to create trust with your direct reports. I don't care how you do that. Personally, in Daimler, what we do is we have weekly one-on-ones with our directs. Yeah, 30-minute meetings where they talk about what's important for them, and then I speak about what's important for me. But spending time and getting to know your people is by far the most important recommendation I have for you today. Yeah? The second one is talking about performance, giving feedback, especially positive feedback. Guy walks into your office, happened to me the other day, and said, Gerhard, you know what? You remember that assignment that you gave me? I think I may have made a mistake with that proposal for the customer. And that you just say, hey, listen, Adrian, that was his name. Adrian, can I give you some feedback? When you walk into my office and you raise your hand and say, Houston, we have a problem, it makes me want to trust you more. Thank you very much. Take 10 to 15 seconds, that's it. Yeah. So do that as often as you can, and you will be very successful. The third behavior is asking for more. Learn how to coach people. Coaching doesn't mean that you have to do the work. They have to do it. You just have to point them in the right direction. What do you want to improve in? And then help them improve in that. The fourth one is pushing work down, delegation. Yeah? And delegation is often misunderstood because people or bosses think that they do delegate what they want or what they choose to in order to train their people. That's not the reason. It's managerial 101. If I make 100,000 and my direct makes 50,000, and there's something that I do that he could do or she could do as well, I have no choice but to push work from a higher paid cost center to a lower paid cost center. I know it doesn't sound very nice, but it's cheaper for them to do it. And the definition of efficiency is doing more with less. In this case, less money. So these 4 are, for me, in the opinion of others, there's enough data about that, the most effective ones. Yeah. Also, be careful with authenticity. There's a lot of talk about authenticity, and nobody cares. Be authentic at your home. Don't do what comes naturally to you. I'm not a naturally gifted people person. I'm a German, like Simon, working for a German engineering company. So yeah, that says everything. You have to do what is effective. You have to do what is professional. You get paid for that. You don't get paid to be yourself. Yeah? So be careful with authenticity. Just be professional. The second transition, which is also, it's actually more complicated, is from manager to executive. And that is it's a transition that is largely shielded from you by the organization. It is not self-evident. Yes, maybe you get sent to an assessment center, maybe you get sent to a couple of development programs, etc. But it's not really that clear. So again, you have to pay attention for that. There is no ladder, like I said before. There are no development programs. Yeah, don't be misled by HR. You are in charge of making that transition on your own. And what you learn there is that as a manager, you're internally focused. You're focused on your team. You're focused on your results. You're focused on your processes. And then as an executive, you have to start looking outside. Yeah, you're looking at the organization as a total, but especially at customers and the marketplace. You go from products to customers, you go from internal processes to markets and results. And also you go from certainty to levels of uncertainty, because as a manager, of course, you know what you're doing, you know what you're responsible for. But as executive, you get overwhelmed by data and knowledge. And data and knowledge, I know big data is a buzzword now, is totally useless unless they create some type of insight that you can then use to help your organization grow. Yeah? So you need to change your habits from internal to external, get outside of your organization and your industry, get other viewpoints. I think Simon's recommendation is actually very, very good. There's a lot of diversity in this group, so make sure that you engage everyone and find out about different ways they think and different perspectives. So start early with that. Mm-hmm. The second one is focusing on your top 3 priorities at the expense of everything else, which as a manager you cannot afford, but as an executive you must. So you also change your viewpoint from monthly, weekly, daily results to quarterly, next year, and if you're a CEO, the next 5 years. You have to learn that too. So all goals become long-term. And last but not least, there's the how challenge. How do you do that? So you go from tasks to goals, like we said before, and especially not only goals, but accomplishments. And then from managing to communicating about your priorities, about priorities of the organization, and also about creating and maintaining relationships. That's very, very important. Very good friend of mine says, if you say something 7 times, half of the people in the organization, in your team, will say they heard it once. Trust me, it's true. So the value of the message is, again, in the repetition. You have to communicate around your priorities, and then you have to help your peers in a quid pro quo way to be successful also, because they will then in turn turn around and help you become successful. Everything else is irrelevant. Routinize your administration, especially email. I see managers and also executives worry too much about email. Forget about it. That's not your job. Your job is outward focused. So the question is, can you focus on your top 2 or 3 priorities at the expense of others, and then turn metrics into deliverables? And that's in a nutshell. I think I have 10 minutes. What I learned over the last 30 years, and I hope it helps you. Other than that, just like Simon, I would say have lots of fun, engage each other, and look me up on LinkedIn. I'm always open for questions and recommendations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gerhard, for those inspiring words of wisdom. So I was really sad to hear that there's no Hollywood movies made of managers. I was hoping that after my performance in the Wow Room, I would get a chance to move into Hollywood, but okay, fair enough. So I'm going to turn now to the students here in the Wow Room who are just behind me. So I'm going to turn around a little bit. But essentially, I'm going to ask you guys if you have any questions for Simon or Gerhard, who are both here with us a little bit longer. Okay, so we want to know if you have any questions for these amazing, accomplished executives. And I am going to essentially ask you to use the hand raise feature. You raise your hand, I call your name, and when I call your name, you tell us who you're asking the question to, okay? So I give you a couple of seconds. Okay, I'm going to leave the students in the Wow Room a couple of seconds to prepare themselves, their questions, right? So I'm going to ask you a question that I have had in my mind since I read both of your bios, okay? A very, very quick one from Simon. I want to hear from you. What was your biggest professional challenge to date, and what do you think our students can learn from it?
I mean, the biggest, basically, challenge I had, it's a good one. I have to think about this a little bit. But one was for sure what Gerhard said, to at the end build quickly the trust and manage people. That's something where when you come from a consulting world where you normally look from outside of all the problems of company, you never feel that yourself. You are the reason for a problem, likely, right? This could be the case if your own department or even you as manager could be part of this problem. This was difficult to swap this and basically bring this also to teams afterwards, right? Because normally, if you have experience like Gerhard of 30 years, you get a credibility because the achievements are there, right? If you come directly from university, what you guys will see with experience, sometimes it costs you to also move certain kind of opinions of people who are longer around you but are reports of yours. So that's for sure one of the first challenges was to become this from being an individual contributor from outside a company towards being a manager that actually leads teams and has to understand that likely you're also part the problem as such. That's maybe one of the things where I struggled most at the beginning.
Makes sense. Thank you so much, Simon. So I'm going to now turn to, I think, Joe Hansen. You had your hand up. You have your hand up. Wonderful. So Joe, over to you. You have to unmute yourself and say who the question is for.
I'm unmuted. Well, it's actually for both, but I'll go with Gerhard because I know Simon just asked that question. So if you were finishing your MBA in 2020, what would you do differently compared to when you did yours, and why?
Okay, the first thing is I would just like Martin mentioned before, I would show a greater interest in digital platforms and digital business. Probably I would try to complement that with some type of it doesn't have to be programming experience, but at least show some interest in it. Now it's easy. I mean, it's easy to say it in hindsight. At the time when I started, all this stuff didn't exist. Yeah, we didn't have Blackberries, we didn't have email. Everything was conducted via fax and telex and all this. So, but yes, I would have shown a greater interest perhaps in the IT world. Yeah, and I'm, like I said before, I'm an introvert, which means I derive my energy from reading stuff, concentrating, focusing stuff. The people aspect, perhaps I would have paid more attention to that. So.
That's wonderful.
In my case,
yeah, go ahead.
To add, the only thing I would add to that is what I've turned out. You guys, you will face a world that is changing way faster than ours. And that's just 10 years from you, right? It's not like that's a large amount of time. All what Martin said in the beginning, I felt always I cannot be wrong, right? I have to be right. I have to show that basically I get it right. These kind of things. Just fail and be honest about it and learn from it, right? That's something what I would do maybe more, this mindset, basically to implement that. This would be something I would add to this one, because you guys will face way more change than we did, at least what I can say, for sure. That's what I experienced today. And I would look for people who basically fail, come back and tell me what they did wrong and how they would do it different right now. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people lessons, I think, that both Simon and Gerhard have to share with us. So look forward to the transformational leadership courses. Now, do we have any more questions from any of the people here in the WOW room? Do we have somebody? I think there's somebody with a hand up and I cannot see them. Maria Vives. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, Maria, I couldn't see the hand. Go ahead, Maria. Maria Vives?
No, it wasn't me.
Oh, your hand was up, though, but okay, fair enough.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Anybody else? We have somebody up there. Okay, wonderful. So, Hari Krishnan.
Yes, I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So my question is to both of you. I don't know, we'll be graduating into a world that has changed massively. Work from home will become a new way of doing things all over the place. So in your experience, how is that going to change management? Because you've been used to the old style of doing things. And how do you see this changing in the future? And what should we be prepared for?
Did you say who your question was for?
To both of them, actually, since this is, I think, equally relevant.
Okay, so yeah, Simon, you going to start?
Happy to.
Wonderful.
Look, for me, that's an important point. What I lived through myself in the last 6 months is kind of interesting. I was traveling more than right now, and right now I'm not missing it that much, to be honest. Before that, I couldn't envision that. But I think you have to prepare for two things. One, you have to learn these digital tools, and you have to live with the kind of glitches that come with that, and get very used to all the different ones. I believe that we will not be able to live without human contact completely, right? So what I do right now is that I basically try to have less but more focused interactions to use all the media I can. So always with camera, basically never just a phone call or an email. Email is basically a pain for everybody. I guess it's the worst communication method out there, if you ask me. So that's the first thing I do, is I do everything personal and using all the kind of senses that I have, if it's possible. Not always, but we use WhatsApp chats a lot. We use visual calls where you see people, because you can at least judge a little bit what's happening. That's one thing. Get used to these tools and use them as much as you can, because that's the first thing. Second thing, what I try to do is, as I believe you have to have human interaction and you have to bring people together to create trust, I'm going to have more focused team meetings, which are in person whenever it's possible again due to COVID. But that's the second thing what I want to increase. Before I was basically traveling around the world myself, meeting my direct employees. Now I try to bring them more together to foster this team, because that's a difficult one that you likely cannot do with virtual tools only.
Thank you, Simon. Gerhard, do you have any thoughts?
Okay. Yeah. So I totally subscribe, first of all, to everything Simon has said. Yeah. There's three things I'd like to say. First of all, the whole world learned how to use Zoom in 2 months, and we're not giving that up. Yeah. It was like a crash course in digital communication. Number two is everybody. There's enough evidence to Hare Krishna to suggest that face-to-face is the most effective way for communication. No question about that. But if you query managers, what is the preferred communication tool for communicating with their teams, they will say email. So we got 50% of our managers now sitting at home writing emails to their team, and bringing these back to the office to continue to write email is a very expensive proposition. Yeah. So that's the second thing I'd like to say. And the third one is Google something called the Allen curve. And this is based on a study that Professor Allen did at MIT, where he measured the frequency of communication based on the distance between two chairs with engineers. Yeah? So the sweet spot is 50 meters, which means that if you and I are sitting within 50 meters in an office, we have more frequent communication in the office. Everybody else outside of that radius might as well be in a different zip code or in a different country. Yeah? So I don't see any compelling evidence from the communication side to bring people back to the office. I think that what we should do is what Simon suggests, which is train more in digital tools. Definitely video conferences with the camera on, very important, yeah, because it's the second most effective way to communicate.
Thank you so much. So we have Taylor Pond. You have your hand raised. I hope it's a question.
Yes, hi.
Wonderful. Hello.
Hi. Thank you both for your time this morning. I have a question about humor. So I'm wondering if either of you believe that there is a place for humor in leadership, and if so, how do you use it?
I'm really interested what the German and the engineer have to say about this.
Yeah, this one would be for you. I can be a little bit passing the hot potato to you. Yeah.
So you ask me personally, don't do it. Yeah, especially in a cross-cultural environment. Maybe in a small team, yeah, and everybody knows each other. But again, authenticity is overrated. Again, nobody cares about you being yourself. Be yourself at home, but don't be yourself in the office. Be professional. Do what is effective. And humor, I guess, has its place, but it's risky. Yeah. So don't. My opinion is don't do it.
If you have two Germans, they normally agree on these kind of things. I would be careful with humor myself if it's not about yourself and not too much, right? Because first, interculturally, things are perceived very different. So that's one thing. Secondly, yeah, I mean, there is a place for everything. I like what you said about being authentic, about being professional. In a personal sense, I think I'm sometimes funny. Let's say work-wise, I normally stick to what Gerhard said. I try to be not approachable, but also not being. So I use it seldom to never, to be honest. A good question. I mean, maybe we should do more. I don't know. But also open to learn here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Priscilla, I'm going to give way now to Priscilla. Do you want to unmute yourself and talk, ask your question? To who do you want to ask your question?
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for inviting us. Hi. My question is to Gerard. What do you think is the biggest opportunity for us and the biggest challenge in this actual situation for the COVID situation, right? Thank you.
Well, the challenges in the COVID-19 scenario, they're plentiful. Yeah, opportunities. I would say perhaps what Simon has stressed, which is to push the digital way of doing business. Yeah, to push it even further. I think that we have, at least in Daimler, we have made more advance in the last what is it now? It's 8 months almost that we've been working from home in terms of digital communication, digital way of doing business, creating digital tools, not only for our customers, but also for our dealers, reinventing the customer experience based on a digital world. Yeah. So I think that you have a great opportunity in terms of redefining how to do business in a digital world. Yeah.
Okay, so we have 3 people with their hand raised. Okay, we're gonna start with Nicola Saporito, Italian, I guess, right?
Yeah, Italian. Hi everyone. Can you
Hello.
hear me properly?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you both, Simon and Gerard, for your valuable experience. This is one of the things that I'm looking for in IE, having heard from the experiences from the other people. And well, the question is more for Gerard probably because there's me so much the fact you just said, okay, you should be focused. Email is not your job. Focus on people, but focus onward. Look what you see for the next future, in 5 years probably. So the thing is, as I see, the world is becoming more and more complicated. We're supposed to be more and more specialized probably, even if we are looking for a more generalized role for our MBAs. I would like you to elaborate, please, on that. So basically, tell me what you think when you say, okay, look onward, focus, because this will be, especially from an entrepreneurship mindset, this probably is the most valuable thing I see for that. So on what should I focus? What are the dynamics I should take in consideration? What do for this to the people I will lead?
Okay, so yeah, my comment was directed at the transition from manager to executive. Yeah, so executive is an outward focusing profession. Yeah, I don't recommend that you do that as a manager. As a manager, you need to know your processes, your team, your work, the results better. So it's more inward focused. But if you want to become an executive, you have to go outside. And outside means or going outside means definitely reading a lot about what's going on outside of your industry, but also communicating with people. You know, now I know Simon. There are very few touch points between GE Healthcare and Mercedes-Benz. Yeah, quite frankly, we do different things. However, he may be seeing things that I don't see in terms of the general economy, in terms of management. Where's the world going to? So I find myself more and more, especially on platforms like LinkedIn, just talking to people from all kinds of countries, all kinds of industries. Yeah, some of them want to sell me stuff, but others are just very, very happy to share. And you have to force yourself to do that. Yeah, if you're an extrovert, you don't have a problem. You just love talking to all kinds of people. But if you're an introvert, you have to set aside time and say, okay, I'm just going to engage these people. I'm just going to make myself talk to people outside of my industry about all kinds of stuff. And also, in order to learn. So that is not self-evident. And then you have to be careful because there's so much data outside right now. I mean, there's the availability of data is crazy. And data that does not lead you to insights, recognizing trends is just useless. Yeah? So be careful with the email overflow and the links that they send you and all this. Some of it is useful and others is not.
I mean, I would add very little there. One one important point that I think is what I do is I talk to experts. I've never been a specialist in consulting, maybe a little bit, but afterwards I was always more a generalist. I know marketing, I know sales, these kind of stuff, yes, but I would never consider myself as being a very deep subject matter expert. And right now, if you go into the world of AI and digital health, that's something new, right? There are not that many experts actually, but there are some. And we see, like Dr. Ek Topol, if you can spend time, just be a sponge and talk to them and get the input. That's one that I do. Plus, what Gerald said, you have new tools like, not new tools, but you have LinkedIn and so on, where you can identify at least some thought leaders that you follow and to just consume from time to time. Always if you build your own opinion about that. That's what I'm saying, because I echo that it's sometimes dangerous to just take something that McKinsey wrote as the truth. Nothing against McKinsey, but you have to put this into your context, and you have to also understand what you think about it for your task, right, that you have to achieve. But these are two ways that I would do. And then, I mean, I cannot answer for you the question if you want to go deep or be a generalist. But if you don't build your own business, have a great idea or something like that, and you join a big corporate like ours, I would suggest you that you in the beginning go deep in some matter and learn as much as you can for the first 2 to 3 years, to then basically have a more generalistic understanding. My advantage was always that I tried to understand all the different businesses within GE, not just healthcare. Also, what's aviation doing, what's energy doing, because there's likely something that you can just copy with pride. I always tell to my team, copy something if you recognize where it's from, give these people the credits, but improve it, right? And this is something that I would recommend you to do. But that's a personal decision what you want to do also as well, right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. So we have, Vesta has had her hand up for a little while. I don't know if you still want to ask a question.
Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. Go ahead.
So my question is a bit more general. It's not necessarily leadership, but it follows on the previous discussion we had on working remotely and using digital tools to accommodate the new ways of working. Where do you see the implications on security and such as sensitive data based on the assumption that this is going to be all enabled by cloud, especially when it's not internal org? This is something either of you can answer.
Well,
Simon?
Yeah. Okay, Simon, go ahead.
I don't know. Sorry. I thought I just was looking at Simon. He put his mic up. Okay, wonderful.
We're discussing this quite a lot. So more especially in healthcare, right? There are new concepts like telehealth that bring you leapfrog basically innovation quite a lot, but you give a lot of more let's say entrance also for any kind of cybersecurity issues, correct? And look, I would pursue like you pursue in the normal way first. I would not share something I don't anyways share in terms of these chats, right? That's one thing. Secondly, you as said before, you have to get a general understanding of what you can do and what not, and also what cybersecurity means. It's a very hairy topic, I know that, but it's something you have to live with in the future, for sure. And that's always when you have this amount of data, people might do something with it to the bad things with it. But I think in general that using this kind of technology at the end is positive, right? You have to get a general understanding of what could happen, and don't do anything you would do anyways in normal life, sharing any kind of sensitive information. A difficult topic for sure.
Yeah, I echo what Simon is saying. I think that companies that are designing products, this is going to sound not very nice, but that are designing products to monitor the performance, engagement, etc., from people working at home. Yeah? Also the presence, productivity are going to be huge in the near future. Yeah? There's a lot of products that we see right now and a lot of developments coming to the market slowly. So cybersecurity is going to be very important. We have our own issues with cybersecurity. As you know, we're investing a lot in autonomous driving. So the concept of the car that can be hacked is scary. So also there, in that respect, cybersecurity is big with us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, both Simon and Gerhard. You guys have been tremendous. Thank you so much for your time. I really do hope that we can bring you both on campus to meet the students in face-to-face at some point in the near future. We look forward to that. But now allow me to move on to the next piece of this opening ceremony. So I will introduce you to my colleague, Juliana Pereira, who is Chief of Campus Life. I don't know if you guys hear an echo. Is the sound okay? Can you please mute yourself? Sorry. Can you please mute your mic, Vesta? Because I think we're getting a little bit, yeah? Wonderful. I think we're all right now. Fantastic. Sorry. I would like to now introduce you to my colleague, Juliana Pereira, as I said, who is Chief of Campus Life. Her and her team make sure that your life outside of the classroom is filled full of conferences, club events, and an array of fun activities. Okay, so we will first give way to a short video, and then Juliana will come and speak to you guys.
Imagine yourself this time next year. What choices have you made to bring you there? Imagine yourself creating something new, something exciting, taking a tradition to the next level. Imagine gaining new insights, new friendships, a sense of purpose. Imagine being a global citizen. Imagine being here. Plug into a campus full of life. Discover a space to explore and choose the paths that will create your identity. Share your successes, your failures, and show others what can be achieved. Go beyond the ordinary. Go beyond the beaten path. Go beyond the classroom. Embark on a journey and write your story with us. The choices are yours, and we are here to guide you every step of the way. Excited? So are we.
Welcome to the IE community. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Today is probably not the way you pictured the next big step of your academic life to look like. I also imagine that there are many fears and concerns as we're all rolling through the punches and trying to make the best of what they call this new reality. But if I can say something to make you guys feel better, it's that you could not have chosen a better home or a stronger community. Nobody at all can guarantee that this won't be a bumpy ride. But you're steering the wheel. And no matter what happens this year, just remember that. I challenge you to do, as the saying goes, something that scares you each day. Do not fall into the one-size-fits-all, because on this campus, we don't want that. We want you to go beyond. We want you to go beyond the classroom experience and truly take advantage of each minute and every resource. I can imagine that you guys have enough stresses and enough pressures, and this is a whole new beginning. So I'm not here to add another item to your to-do list. I'm here with one sole intention, and it's to tell you that time flies and opportunities are everywhere at IE, and that campus life, we're here to guide you. But in order to do that, you need to take the first step. Getting involved and engaging in extracurricular activities, I cannot say how important this is. Such as clubs. Clubs give you guys a broad perspective. It gives you firsthand access to companies, to contacts, to venues, multiple departments and their inner workings, and everything. All of that translates into getting you to a closer job, to a new skill set, or even just broadening your network. That's what you guys are here for. So someone once told me, and it's been reiterated today as well, it's all about asking good questions and trying to dig deeper. That's what really counts. So think, how can I take advantage of this moment in my life and live it to the fullest? What of myself can I share with others to add to their journey? How can I give back and leave behind something better than how I found it? I have no doubt I really, really have no doubt that you will add to people's memories. You will add to making IE values more tangible. You will add to our traditions as a community, and you'll learn beautiful things about yourself along the way. The Campus Life team is all about supporting students' initiatives, their ideas, causes, giving them the confidence to know that one person can make a difference. I've seen it. This happens. That's our job. Nevertheless, believing that success is a symptom of your community, that starts with you. So what do you need to know? Download the Campus Group app to make sure that you check out all the activities that are happening on campus and online. Make sure to open up. Every Thursday, you're going to get a newsletter from the Campus Life team, so make sure to open that email. Follow us on Instagram. That's the easiest thing you can do, which is IE Campus Life. And if you want to learn about clubs and more events, please join us this week on September 17th for our online open day. And I want to leave you with one final thought. An MBA, as you guys know, it's done once in your life. How do you plan on making it count? So now I'm going to turn it over to current students, IMBA students, Camille and Magna. Who better to shed light on what your guys are really in for this year? Hi.
Hi.
So I thought it would be interesting to, see you guys. What's your experience been with Campus Life?
Well, yes. So I'm currently the community development officer for the student leadership team. So you guys will be seeing a lot of me this year. I really like to connect and engage all the clubs here at IE, and it's been a great journey so far being involved as an attendee, but now I get to help make sure the engagement gets increased throughout the year.
So I'm part of a lot of clubs. So part of the Agile Club, I'm part of the Women in Business Club, I'm part of the Tech Club, so I'm constantly attending events, talks. I'm even part of the Agri-Tech Club, so I attend talks that they have. So just trying to do a bunch of different things across a lot of different functions.
Alrighty.
All right.
Thank
okay,
you.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Okay. So
Welcome, September class of 2020.
Can you hear us?
Can you see this perfection on your screen? Trust me, we do look this good in person.
You actually made it here. Despite the entire world knocking you and everyone down, you had the grit and perseverance to make it to your MBA. Well done.
And now let's be honest, are you ready for the best year of your life?
That's true, because before I came to the MBA, everyone kept saying it's going to be the best year of your life. I mean, it's such a repeated phrase, but they didn't have COVID and restrictions.
No, they didn't.
But even so, you can still have your best year, and we'll show you how. You start off day one excited, enthusiastic for this 10-month journey until graduation. But really, what the MBA is an extremely fast-paced, exhilarating, scary roller coaster that is not always fully functioning at its best.
Yet, even with those moments, Magda and I found plenty of opportunities to shine and to thrive. So sit back, relax, grab a drink if you don't already have one, and please laugh at our attempt at humor throughout this presentation. We want to put a smile on your face. So let's get this thing started. A little bit about me. My name is Camille Elwa, and I come from the great MIAMI, Miami, baby. And I'm a proud Haitian American who's enjoying her time here in Madrid. And honestly, at this point, before my career started here at IE, I had a career in marketing, and I worked in the field of transportation, education, healthcare, and all this has led me to IE to pursue a dual degree. Now, you may have guessed the first degree is an MBA, but the second degree is a master's in big data and business analytics, so please wish me luck, guys. I'll be drowning in code for the next year. And besides that, something more personal about me, I'm a lover of the arts, anything from modern to contemporary to documentary, to theater, to musicals. I just love exploring the world through many different art platforms. And like I mentioned before, I'm very involved here at IE. I'm the community development officer for the student leadership team. And it's with all this great engagement that I'm truly enjoying my time here at IE so far.
Hi everyone, I'm Meghna Harjani, and I'm born in the international city of Dubai, and I'm of Indian origin. So you have the unfortunate pleasure of listening to me for the next 15 to 20 minutes, telling you about my experience. So, a bit about me. Before I came to IE, I was a project and change manager doing HR digital transformation projects across the Middle East. I came to IE because I wanted change. I wanted to push myself out of my comfort zone on a new stimulating platform. And boy, am I glad. Because MBA at IE is more than just the academics and the networking. It's a road to self-discovery and sleep deprivation. No kidding. But really, on a personal note, I love experiencing new things. I love adventure. I love traveling, backpacking, scuba diving. I used to also compete amateur Muay Thai. So do beware, if you don't laugh at my jokes, I will find you. Apart from that, on campus, I am the class representative for my class, which means I make sure their voice is heard and they can make the most of their MBA. But you know what? Enough about us. We want to get to know you. Who is the class of 2020? Are you one that's up till 5 a.m. working on a paper they should have done 5 days ago? Or someone who's 35 and still shots vodka thinking he or she's 18? Let's go a little deep. So, I can see you guys around in the wow room.
Yes.
Question number 1. How many of you steal shampoos in hotel rooms?
All right, raise your hands.
Raise your hands, we
Who
can see.
steals shampoos from hotel rooms here?
Okay.
Don't be shy.
Okay, guys, we're just kidding. But now that we have your attention, we're going to get into the real questions.
All right, so it's time to be a little interactive, guys. So I need everyone who's tuned in to take out their phones and scan the QR code. We'll give you a few moments. Go ahead, scan it, please. I see everyone's getting it out here. Everyone else at home, please scan it. This is a very important question coming up. You do not want to miss out. All right, all right. Do we have a head nods? You guys are seeing the question? Yes?
Everyone's good?
We all, yes, thumbs up, engaged, yes.
We see a lot of phones coming out.
Yes,
so.
yes. Are we ready? Let's reveal this question.
Okay, Camille, hit it.
All right, so how many of you guys are in a relationship? Please, I need to see these results. The results are coming in live. This is very important. The most important question of your MBA experience.
Leave today. This is a one thing you need to know.
Ooh, look at these results. Single, ready to mingle. Great.
Wow.
Yes.
A lot of networking, Camille.
Yes.
I see.
I hope if anybody's on this screen, you're smiling very, very pretty right now. All right.
Good. Now we know why they're here, Camille. Now we know.
All right. This is a great group of people. Now, let's move on to another question. Now, it's more of like a rhetorical question that's coming up. What would you do? What would you do if you had a party to go to tonight, but you have group work due the next day and some cases to read the next morning? Would you A, go out to party? Would you B, go to sleep? Would you C, work on the assignments that are due? Or would you D, do nothing? Or E, it depends.
Guys, it depends. The answer to everything in the MBA. There's never a right yes or no in class. If you don't know something, it depends. Is it the right model? Is it a good analysis? It depends. By the 3rd month, you ask those with partners, are you single or taken? It depends, apparently. In the MBA, you'll be torn by your moral conscience and your wild, desireful self.
I'll be the sensible, rational side of the brain, urging you to be wise.
I will be the irrational, need to be 18th side of the brain again, forcing you to make some wrong but great choices.
Now, together, we're going to help you navigate these crazy and testing waters. Will it be foolproof? Of course not, but you have to listen to us anyways.
So, if you ask me what's the best part of my MBA, my first few months was filled with international night dinners, forum after parties, picnics at Retiro, discussions in class. Okay, so imagine now you're at Six Flags in LA, and you're the most exciting part of this roller coaster, about to have that crazy drop you've been waiting for. And oops, lockdown hits. There's a malfunction in the roller coaster, and you're stuck in air, uncertain, afraid, and feeling a bit sick. Well, imagine 3 months and still unsure. When the lockdown hit, it meant all of our emotions were all over the place. Trust me, I was class rep, aka turned therapist to my class. But if you take away all the negative parts, what the lockdown quarantine really brought to us was an enriching experience because it got us so much closer as a class. We were all this weird, confusing experience together, and we connected. Yes, we're fighting technical limits and Zoom time limits and arguing and fighting and unsure, but really, it was during this time the strength of our community shone. Here's a small video that I created with Augustine from Argentina and Alex from Lebanon to show you how we felt during the lockdown.
Will my family be okay?
I had never thought something like this would happen.
I felt unprepared.
I felt nervous and concerned for my friends and family.
Living in a nightmare, we didn't understand how everything changed so fast.
Shouldn't go back to Colombia, shouldn't stay.
Cause I'm having a good time, having a good time. A shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger.
Following all the live classes on Instagram and trying to work out for 30 minutes every day.
Keep exercising, keep socializing, but learning is something that you can do because you have the focus to do it.
Looking for effective indoor training? Run up and down the building.
I took this opportunity to get inspired and paint.
Using this time to retrain good habits such as meditation and fine-tune my cooking abilities.
We put my group startup idea in practice among the MBA community, which is a peer-to-peer skill sharing platform.
Stay at home.
Niet leren.
Atina, menu me speed.
Bli, jamma.
Evde kal. Nora, nulla. Zijn nu iedereen. Educosley.
Stay at home, folks.
This really shows you the IE flavor in each of us students, the ability to even find an opportunity amongst a crisis.
Now, to continue on with how we thrived during our time in COVID, to save us from our Netflix addictions, a group of IMBA students decided to create a world called Peer Labs, where we had engaging sessions led by members of our community. We had inspirational messages to keep up our positivity. We also had workout sessions so we could keep our physiques in shape. And we also had cooking classes. Now, these classes had about 47 students attending each time. Let me give you a quick example. During our cooking classes, we had questions coming through like, hi, so quick question. I have the pot and the rice and the water on the stove. At what point do I turn the stove on? 10 minutes ago? Oh, I'm sorry, I'll turn it on right now. We were not prepared to be in our houses every day, in and out, cooking for ourselves. So thank you to all the leaders of the sessions and to the people who created the Peer Labs.
That's practical leadership right there. Camille even gave a session on public speaking. Isn't she great?
Thanks, Magna. But honestly, it was a great time shared by all. Another example on a more professional note is the career journeys. So essentially, this was an intimate experience of 10 to 12 students tuning in to hear about someone's career journey. At the end of the day, we've all come to IE along different paths, and it's a great way for us to kind of learn about our different experiences in a very unique format. And the 10 to 12 people per session was a perfect preparation for what's happening right now for our dinner reservations. So thanks for the preparation, COVID. And another thing about me, Magna, is that when I came to IE, I was doing everything. I was known as a social butterfly. I just couldn't stop attending all the events, whether it was personal, professional, networking, casual. I had to be everywhere. But what I learned very quickly on was that it was unsustainable. So we're going to give you a few tips and 3 S's you need to know to survive this journey. That's sleep, socialize, and study.
So, you always have those who are always out every evening, happy hour at H Club, Parashika, Marietta Tuesdays, but then they're never in class. They don't know how to access campus or reading we have. We call them the slackers. They forget they're here for education. Then you have those that are always reading all the cases, extra work, arguing in class, also a bit annoying, but you never see them out. We call them the nerds. They forget you're also here to network. And then my favorite, the most common one, the ones who are out partying, after party, tapas, dinners all the time, and still making it to class, doing their cases. But then they turn into zombies. They're reeking of coffee and alcohol, of Red Bull, not alcohol, and falling asleep in class. You don't want to be a zombie, guys.
Now, I know there are a few of you guys still out there thinking you can manage all 3. Well, let me tell you something. Unless your life is straight out of a superhero movie, you can't do all 3.
Your life might be a comic, but the MBA demands are not a joke.
Now, at the end of the day, you'll be shifting between these 2 out of the 3. Know yourself, know how you're going to balance your life, and continue along your journey.
FOMO? You think this is a word for younger TikTok users? And don't worry if you use TikTok. I do judge you. But FOMO is a real thing. And Mo is a real thing because you will be missing out. Trivia night with the US Club, dinner date, group networking session, or a talk by the Agri-Tech Society, you cannot make it to all 5 of them. Welcome to the buzzing life of an MBA student. So, my advice, sometimes it's okay to get 8 hours of sleep. Once a week works.
You can do more than 8 hours of sleep, Magda. You can do more than that. Now, in continuation, we have a few more tips for you throughout this journey. So when you guys start off your IE education experience, I want you guys to know that you need to do your group work. Don't be that guy. When you have something to do the next day, please make sure that you're actually doing your group work. Your group members will love and appreciate the fact that you're actually doing your work. They don't want to hear that you're at Tony Doe singing at the top of your lungs when something is due tomorrow.
Or fake it till you make it. That's what an MBA is all about, right? Make bullshit as you go?
Not really. Not really.
Okay, not really. But that's right. Read your cases, guys, or at least the summary or the introduction. That's all you need.
And some more tips to kind of help out your engagement so far. When you're feeling sick, stay home. Take advantage of the hybrid platform. You don't want to be known as patient zero in your section. So stay home, take a few classes online, then come back when you feel bright and ready to start your next day. And also, a quick tip for you guys, Blackboard is your friend, okay? Synchronize all your cases and your assignments to your calendars. At the end of the day, you don't want things swept under the rug.
I don't know about friend Camille, but I get nightmares about Blackboard.
It's not that bad, but yes, it's very intense, so guys, don't fall behind on it.
And also, guys, enjoy the ride. It's going to be stressful, overwhelming, but don't take things too hard. There will be tons of conflicts, disagreements, and arguments with your work group. That's diversity in a nutshell. It's okay. And also, be a good student. Don't be that student.
That always walks in late.
Okay, that's me, I confess. But now with Zoom, you can wake right into class. Benefits of hybrid.
Yeah.
And another tip, guys. WhatsApp web is your enemy. We have 0 attention spans and that annoying WhatsApp sound every time you unmute yourself. Nah, mate, not good. Not good.
Now, at the end of the day, they always say, trust the curve. So listen to me, guys. Go home, study, go to sleep, and wake up and just try your best and then trust the curve.
Or, if you're unprepared, throw a dinner or a party, invite all your group members so they're as unprepared as you. And that's how you create the curve.
No. Don't listen to Magna on this one. But honestly, people come to the MBA at the end of the day to get a job. And you might think that having the MBA after your name on LinkedIn means that jobs are going to be handed to you on a silver platter. That is not the case.
In reality, it takes thousands of hours of LinkedIn stalking, research, rejections, CV edits. Talent and careers are there, so talk to them. These 10 months are going to go by so fast, you want to get a head start. Don't be like the guy in the picture, that's me right now, stressing and applying all the time.
Now, Magna, can I take a quick moment to tell a little confession? I'm not sure if I should say this in front of everyone, but, I have a quick confession to make. I fell in love in the first couple of weeks here at IE, and it wasn't with just one person. It was actually with a few people. I fell in love with my section, J2.
Okay, that's okay. I'm in our section. This is allowed, Camille.
Because your section is like your family. They're the ones that you're going to be going on the roller coaster with, the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights, the fun moments, the not so fun moments. Guys, you're going to have a great time. Embrace this moment.
And hopefully not hook up with.
Yeah, I highly recommend that you wait until after Core 2 for some intermingling, okay? Because think about it. If you make it awkward in week 1, you'll have to see this person every day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pick your partners wisely.
That's why mingle with other sections too. Remember, they are in the allowed list. Cross-section pollination is highly encouraged. And now, you have to work extra hard with those masks. So ladies, use that mascara.
And speaking of masks, let's talk about a little hybrid class 101.
Okay.
So during class hours, you have to wear your mask throughout the class session. Trust me, from a person who loves to speak, you get to work on your diction to speak through the mask. And also, when you're in class as a student experience, you have some X's in between seats. Guys, X's are not a negative thing in this situation. It's a positive thing. You have space for your laptop, your bag, your lunchbox, and if you don't like the person sitting next to you, you have some predetermined space in between. It's not a negative thing.
And now, with the health passport, which is your visa to get into the campus buildings, you never know when you can get in or not. You might have access for your 9 a.m. and no access for your 12 p.m. And also, guys, I think you're 28 in the class. We were 47, Camille. You know what that means? More room to shine or ask stupid questions. The professor cannot ignore you, even if he wants to. And lastly, guys, don't forget to just make the most of it. Stay safe and always sanitize.
Yeah, sanitize.
And in the end, guys, don't let the new restrictions affect you. This is the new normal, so we find a way to thrive in it. For example, I know traveling, it's become a bit tricky, but here are a few photos that I, for my summer in Spain, road tripping through Andalusia. And we still had a great time, and we still wore masks every day, everywhere.
So we've thrown a lot at you guys over the past few minutes, and to help you remember some top 5 things, we created a quick top 5 tips list for you guys to remember post this presentation.
Number 1, sleep, study, socialize, sanity. Balance between these 3, and you should be okay. Tip number 2, no one will remember your grade in 5 years, but they'll remember that dinner, that experience, that moment. So be present, be engaged every day. Tip number 3, and now I know you know this, but be careful of thieves and pickpocketers. I got my iPhone stolen, and it wasn't fun, trust me.
And number 4, when you guys get to campus, you will notice a place called Do Eat. It's very convenient to get a coffee, a snack, but trust us when we say, step outside of Do Eats. There are plenty of options around campus. Trust us, believe us. And last but not least, number 5, at the end of the day, relax, don't stress, don't worry. It will all work out in the end. Remember, it always depends. And if that doesn't work out, just take a nap, wake up. We call it a Spanish siesta over here. Wake up and everything will be a little bit better.
Great. So, now that you've heard some wise words from some foolish people, we believe you're ready to embark on a transformational journey to explore the depths of your mind, body, and liver, and reggaeton.
And we want to take this moment to really stress this main point. We understand that leading up to this point, you've all had 1,000,001 thoughts in your mind, especially during this extraordinary year. But let Magda and I be the pure representation of the fact that you will have moments to shine during your time at IE, so embrace it. This is a golden opportunity.
It is a privilege to take a year out to go back to studying again, engage with so much diversity, and learn something new every day. So really embrace it all, the good, the bad, the next corona wave, the unexpected. Every day can be truly amazing if you choose. So buckle up.
Remember to reach out to us at any moment.
Stay safe, stay hungry, stay foolish.
And remember, this is the ride of your lives, guys. Enjoy it.
Welcome to IE.
Your new life starts now.
Okay. All right. So we had initially planned a song, but let's get right into Q&A.
Yes.
So we have the opportunity to answer
All
your
right.
questions. So raise your hands. And
Please.
ask your-
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You have our full attention. Raise your hand. Raise your hand in the screen.
Anyone?
Ooh, ooh.
Nothing?
You could ask us the really, really fun questions, guys. This is a prime opportunity.
All right. So we have someone there.
Joe.
Hi. So I've got a question, guys. What's the best society, and most importantly, why?
Ooh, the best society? I mean, I have to say for me, the student leadership team is the best society on campus just because you get to really engage with all the different master's programs throughout all of the spectrum of IE. So for me, I really love getting to know a bunch of different people through different organizations. So for me, that's the best one. But honestly, it really depends on who you are. You have to understand what you want out of your IE experience because there's other options that will spark your inner uniqueness. So if you like anything from big data, if you like anything from professional to consulting, whatever it is that's in you, find a program or find a society that ignites that completely.
I think for me, and maybe you might not want to hear this, but my favorite is Women in Business because they have so many networking opportunities, meeting people across different industries. They even hosted a really amazing conference a few months ago with really amazing, inspiring speakers. So for me, that is one of my favorite sites, and I attend a lot of their events. Yeah. Okay, hope that answers your question.
So we have another question, I believe, from Paula right there.
Paula? Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I just want to ask you guys, what's your best advice because everything has been overwhelming, like all the conferences, sessions, clubs, and how do we make sure that we don't spread ourselves too thin and, just keep up and be the best that we can be?
All right, so I'll start. I mean, I'll be honest, I also fell into the trap initially. I was everywhere. I was tired, exhausted, running from a talk to class. But really, there are two things. Is relearning how to say no sometimes. Just say, you know what, I don't need to do 4 things a day all the time. Taking time to yourself, so having one day a weekend where I'm like, I am not going out today. And the third thing is, believe it or not, I have a very intense to-do list. So I keep a very clear list, so I'm very realistic of how many things I can do in a day and what I can achieve and what socials I can make it to. So these 3 things I've learned after 3 months of feeling super overwhelmed. It's kind of helped me be sane so far.
Now, my take on it as a social butterfly, I had to learn the lesson the hard way that you can't do everything at the same time. At the end of the day, what is your priority? So if this week your priority is to engage with your classmates, then you're going to go ahead and attend those networking sessions or those casual section dinners. But if this week you need to crack down on some case preps or crack down on something to edify your career, then you have to prioritize that on the moment. I think the 3 S's that we presented kind of shows you how you have to really just understand what you want out of your day, out of your week, out of your month, and then pursue those goals in a timely manner because you can't do everything, and it sucks. I wish I could have done everything, but once I realized what my priorities were, I just continued on in my day.
Thanks. All right. Do we have any more questions?
Any more questions? Let's see.
No?
Don't be shy.
Okay. All right.
Great.
All right. No one has any questions. Reach out to us at any point if you have any questions. Say hi to us if you see us on campus. We would love to get to know you. Hopefully, we'll see you guys.
I think we have our information that we could put on the screen for you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So follow us.
Yes.
Drop us an email, LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is. We'd love to speak to you.
We'd love to connect and engage. And remember, guys, enjoy the ride of your lives.
Thank you.
A huge thanks to Camille and Meghna, who have put together this amazing presentation based on their own MBA experience. I'm sure you all agree they have done a terrific job, and we are so lucky to count on their support here today. I hope you have learned countless numbers of advice and tips and things like that for the start of your program today. Jose and I will see you tomorrow at your IMBA Starts Here presentation at the Aula Magna. You should be able to already see this in your Blackboard or Campus Online agendas. Okay, so we will see you tomorrow. But I want to end this event by first of all thanking all of the speakers who were with us today, who were all wonderful, and also to essentially thank all of you guys for your attention here at the WOW Room as well. Once again, I would like to congratulate you guys for getting into the MBA program, for getting here to Madrid, and welcome once more to IE Business School Class of September 2020.